Oh, hello, everybody. It's me. It's Jake. This is just what I told you was going to happen. I'm here. Yeah, okay, it's a couple minutes after 3, but this is close as I'm going to get. This is close as I'm going to get to on time. I hope you're well. I hope the world is treating you all right. It is surprise testimony. That's what we've got today. Oh gosh, I get this all lined up. That's a little bit better. Dave, there you are. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, yeah. So we're doing. Just gotta get the camera angle right, right? Really, really want to start enjoying my cinematographic work. Laura, good to see you. Julie, hello, hello to you. Um, Bob, welcome aboard. Good to see you too. Where's my the magic magnifier? Um, it's Tuesday again. Yes, it is Tuesday again, Rachel. Um, I can't believe it either. Lady Jerry's off at the swimming pool, so she won't be here today. But she's doing great. She's doing great. Her hair looks terrific, and fingers crossed we might get in the water with a surfboard this week. Take her out for a little surfing, which is a thing that, as you probably know, she loves for a long time. Jen's here. Good to see you, Jen. Um, so I've got the children's Bible. Good one. It's a good one today, if I do say so myself. My neighbor's getting ready for his his colonoscopy. I was just over there and they were talking about the testimony, the surprise testimony. Um, and so I heard about that. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying not to be political. Yeah, sure. It's a little bit crazy that it's a little bit crazy that everybody's got a gun now and nobody can get an abortion. But we'll be fine. Andrew, hey Jake, it's lovely to see you. Let's share some laughs, everyone. Yeah, let's share some laughs. Um, Jake, should Trump go to jail? Dave, well, in my opinion, yeah, for several things, but I'm not a judge or a lawyer. What do I know? But yeah, I mean, what he has been able to say and do, and now what's coming out in this hearing, whatever political side you're on, you have to agree that this is crazier. It seems crazier than any other politician or president that we had in my life, anyway. Which is not saying a lot. Crazier than George Bush Sr. I mean, that guy was not a crazy guy. Ronald Reagan. No, I wasn't crazy about him, but he didn't seem crazy. Maybe a little Alzheimer's towards the end. Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, crazier than those guys. Those guys are pretty stiff Republican dudes. Bill Clinton didn't seem that crazy to me. Obama, George W. Bush didn't seem that crazy. So Trump, yeah, but do you have to go to? Yeah, I think. Anyway, Todd, you loved what you saw today. Well, good for you. Um, the hearing today wasn't much fun for sure. Oh, pick. Well, I didn't. I only heard about it. Jake, have I listened to Rachel's amazing song on the page? No, I just saw that. I'm not on Facebook except when I come on to do the show, and I just saw when you turn on Facebook, it goes, "Hey, this is what's happening in this group that you're in," and I'm like, so I've got to watch that, but I would have been late, so I'm going to watch that after the show. I can't wait to see it. But Rachel, I think I have 2 of your CDs, or maybe there's only one. Anyway, I'm a fan of yours, as you know, so I can't wait to hear that. Walter, you finally made it live for once. Well, I always look forward to seeing you if I see you, and I'm seeing you. Trina Madison is watching Pick. No one else wanted to destroy the country. No, it didn't seem that way, did it? It didn't seem that there's all these people who think they're not destroying the country by destroying the country. I mean, I have to say this. To me, as a person who was young and sexually active and trying really hard not to have an unwanted pregnancy, and realizing that accidents still happen in this world, yeah, the idea that there's not that abortion option for so many women and their partners, men, um, it's unsettling, and it's going to be, I think, tough to witness the consequences of that. But we'll see. For reference, you're skipping work for the show. Well, not skipped, logged out, but you're ignoring your work, Jen. Well, I wouldn't have it any other way. Um, hey, Jake. Jake is part of everyone, by the way. I'm not sure what that means, but I like the sound of it. Um, Scott, so was the lunch he threw against the wall fast food? And why was it a Big Mac? I think, well, who doesn't love a Big Mac? I mean, it's hard. It's not really a hamburger, but it's a I like a Big Mac every once in a while. Richard Chooch, you just can't believe how backwards things have gotten so quickly. I can't either, but one thing that's not backwards is us, right? We're still doing what we do. And I think most people are still doing what they do. And I think most people are going to try and make the best of whatever the reality of this situation is going to be, because there's a lot of speculation about um, what's going to happen. And I think that that's based on things that were happened before when abortion was illegal. There's plenty of places where people are open carrying weapons or concealed carrying weapons already, and in the U.S. Anyway, we'll just see. Ray, you just creeping quietly in the background. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm just doing Ray. I'm just trying to do a little creeping in the background quietly. Try not to well, except for this, but I'm trying normally. And my stand-up career, I'm just trying not to attract too much attention. I'm just minding my own business. That's all. That's all. Ketchup was involved. Julie, you're trying to ignore your work. Yeah, well, animals, they're tricky to ignore. Um, they didn't make it illegal in the states that can choose legal abortions. Yeah, you're right, Chen. I'm fine. I can in California, you can have all the abortions you want. All aboard. The taxes are pretty high. Anyway, so I heard about the ketchup on the wall, Ouija. Yeah, I just heard about ketchup popsicles the other day when I was watching Bill Maher, and I can't believe that someone wants to eat a ketchup flavored popsicle. But that is really the way the world works now. Is like I can't believe how many people wanted this to happen, but a lot of them did. Um, Rachel, you're very excited to watch Cristella's Netflix special tonight. Yes, shout out to Cristela Alonso, whose Netflix special Middle Classy comes out tonight. Check it out. I've seen the show before she taped it. It's very funny, and you're really going to enjoy it. But right now, it's time. Well, guns and church. That's America in a nutshell. That's the week that we've had. Guns and church. And so it's time for a little bit of church. It's time for the children's Bible story Tuesdays, as we do. The marriage feast at Cana. Yeah, you're right, Andrew. Standing on stage in front of hundreds of people does make it difficult to stay in the background. But lucky for me, I haven't done that for a couple months. I look forward to doing it when we get back from New Zealand again. But that's coming up. Leaving for New Zealand on July 18th. And, well, if none of us gets COVID. But don't try anything. Don't try anything, because we're going to have house sitters. Navy SEALs, it's going to be house sitting here. The marriage feast of Cana. In the town of Cana, in Galilee, yeah, right on the Sea of Galilee, which is a freshwater lake, actually, there was a wedding. Jesus and his mother, Mary, in case you didn't know, were invited. And so were the 12 disciples. 12 disciples? They're calling them the disciples, but I guess they're the apostles. The guests were sitting down to the feast when Mary noticed that the jugs were already empty. That Mary, she does like a glass of wine with dinner. She whispered to her son, "There's no more wine." She then told a servant who was standing nearby to do whatever Jesus said. Jesus, there's no more wine. Excuse me. Whatever he tells you, I want you to do that right now. We're going to solve this wine thing. Now, standing against the wall were some huge stone water jars used in the religious rituals of ceremonial washing, each so big that 2 men were needed to carry it. Well, they are made out of stone, so how big is that? A big stone jug is probably heavy even before you put the water in it. Jesus beckoned the servant over to him. Hey, I think my mom told you, but here's what I want you to do. Fill those jugs with water, he told him. And when the jars had been filled to the brim, Jesus said, now take some to the guest of honor so that he may taste it. Well, the most important guest, sitting close to the bridegroom, did not know where this wine had come from, but at the first sip, he knew it was exceptionally good. Rising to his feet, he drank a toast. You are a generous man, he said to the bridegroom. Most people give good wine at the start of the banquet and then let us get drunk on the poor stuff. But you kept the best till last. And that he threw his head back happily and swallowed a great mouthful of wine. So this is a funny Bible story to me because Mary notices they're out of wine and realizes that's a problem, which is not something that you kind of associate with Jesus' mom, Mary, the Blessed Virgin, is that she loves a glass of wine. And if she was hosting this event, anyway, so she gets her son. Anyway, the miracle at the wedding in Cana was the first that Jesus worked. In this way, he revealed his heavenly glory and strengthened the disciples' faith in him. So his first miracle is he buys wine for the party. Whatever you want, drinks are on me. That's Jesus' first miracle. You got to love that about him. Now, I forgot that, or if I ever knew it, but that's the first miracle, is he buys around for the rest of the night on him, wine. And not the cheap stuff either, the good stuff. You gotta like that guest of honor. How much wine has he already had when he stands up and goes, most people would give you the crappy wine at the end of the night, but you have delivered some delicious vino. Hats off! Let's party. Anyway, it never occurred to you what a bummer it must have been for Jesus to have his mother as a wedding date. Well, as we know, Jesus isn't getting married anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Wow, Trina, you're packing your bags to go to your 50th high school reunion in Iowa. Certainly lots of thoughts. Oh my God, I bet you're having lots of thoughts. And Ed, good to see you. Just back up. Flex for us shows the guns and read the Bible. Yeah. Yeah, Bob, that's what we want. Big fire off a few guns at the end of the prayer. Amen. 50th high school reunion, Trina. Oh my goodness. I have never gone. I think I went to my 10-year high school reunion, and I haven't gone to one after that. I think I might be up for the 50th one, but I don't know. Hey, Robert, good to see you. I see you there. Imagine how the story would have ended if you changed the water into Fireball. Well, Bob, yeah, we don't really get much of a story about. I mean, once there's unlimited wine, I mean, parties can go off the rails. And I think in biblical times there wasn't they don't shut you down at midnight or 2 a.m. You can go as long as you want. I think some of these weddings can go all night. So I bet that was a great party. Anyway, and that's why you always invite Jesus to your wedding. The 2022 version has guests who run out of gas as they valet park their cars. And when they get in their cars at the end of the night, They're all Teslas. Ouija. I like that miracle. I like that updated miracle. Um, Scott, it's been a while. Jake went classical guitar. Oh yeah, the guitar in the background. Well, that's actually my daughter's guitar, and she's got mine because she wanted to play the steel string guitar. She started guitar lessons up, and she's got um, a beautiful electric guitar, but she wanted to play the steel string one acoustic to get her fingers ready. I don't know. Maybe I'll get mine back. I don't know. Tomorrow's your birthday, Robert. Yes, you can get a shout out. Happy birthday tomorrow, Robert. Happy birthday to you. Um, Todd, you want to know where Trina's from in Iowa? You're from Davenport. Michael, packing your bags for 2 weeks in France. Yeah, their wine is a miracle. Yeah, I've heard good things about the French wine. Um, Good for you. Uh, I was supposed to be in Europe, but we're going to go to New Zealand. Jake, I probably performed in Cleveland. You just booked a trip there to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Have I toured it? Yes. Yes, Andrew, I have toured it. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is awesome, and I highly recommend it. Um, that's great. There's other terrific things. Cleveland is a fun town, and catch a show at Hilarities inside of the Pickwick and Frolic is the name of the restaurant. Hilarities Comedy Club is inside. It's a great place to see a show, and the food there is delicious also. So I recommend that. But yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is terrific. I've been there multiple times. I think I've paid to go twice, and then I've been another 2 times when I was given complimentary tickets. But it's great. There is the memorabilia. You know, you can see some of David Bowie's and Prince's clothes, and that's all great. And the way it's set up is great. But some of the best things at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are their archive, where you can listen to not just music, but you can see video performances. And then they've got a room where you can see this band and then who they say their influences are, and then see those musicians perform. So that's interesting. A lot of what you see at the and here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it seems to me, could be an online subscription. If the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for example, offered an experience where for $30 you could have unlimited access to their archives and all of that, all of the things that you watch on the video screens when you're in there. If you could do that online from at home after your visit, oh, I think people would pay the extra for that. It's great. So yes, short answer, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, definitely. You got to do it. So there you go. Um, Going to a wedding on Saturday. I hope they invite Jesus or at least hire him as the bartender. Yeah, Jen, you can't count on that. But the great thing about weddings is usually they do not run out of booze. So you'll probably be good. Um, Pick. How did you're asking Jay? How did Jesus stand a chance of finding a wife with his mom always around? Yeah, that Mary. Well, half the time she's had a couple of glasses of wine and she'll cock block you. I had to. I couldn't. I just wanted to say that, and I know it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, but I knew it was wrong way before I said it. There's a bunny lounging and a woodpecker digging for worms on your front lawn right now. Wow, that is a great cartoon, Rich. Um, Imagine meeting his mom, and she says that Jesus is still a virgin. Virgin, yeah. Well, with a mom like that, that's probably going to last a while. We're 9 days into testing positive for COVID, doing great. Well, Ed, I'm glad to hear you. Um, glad to hear you going to the Glendale room for stand up. I haven't been there, but yeah, I'm glad that you're not having serious symptoms. We've got a friend who just lost her. She's had it for a few days and not feeling good, feeling really poorly. Now she's lost her sense of smell and taste, so not so good. Julie, you're asking any plans to come into Detroit. You were the feature act at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, and that remains your favorite. Well, that's sweet. I think you're saying me or Mark Ridley's. I'm not sure. But yeah, Julie, I don't have plans to come back to Detroit, but I would like to get back. Mark is funny because he books the room for the whole year, at least he used to, on one day in September. So if you don't call on that day, you got to wait until next year. And so I keep missing it. Anyway, what are you going to do? But if Mark Ridley has a fallout, I'd love to come down. Road tripping in Alaska with your dad and brother starting tomorrow, Ouija. Yeah. Did I hear Sarah Palin plowed a moose in her car? No, I didn't hear that. but I'm going to Google that right after I watch Rachel's song. Um, did I see the Stones traveling exhibit saw in New York City, but missed Bowie's? No, I didn't see that, John. That sounds pretty great. Todd, you were in Cleveland for the Cubs World Series win. Never got to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, Todd, you make another great point. That's another great thing to do in Cleveland. I'd go to a comedy show at Hilarities, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, go see a game at the Jacobs Field or whatever they're calling it now. Why wouldn't Mary bring Joseph to a wedding? I think maybe Jesus was invited and he brought Mary. So Mary was Jesus's plus one, but I'm not sure. That wasn't clear in the children's Bible. Still waiting for the Dallas gig. Yeah, Jen, me too. Trying to, don't, just stay relaxed and we'll see if it happens. John, you have to comment on me for telling the Aristocrats joke without telling the Aristocrats joke. Yeah, well, I tried not to, and it got in the final cut, so I was happy about that. You had COVID in November, and you can still barely smell anything. Julie, oh, that's terrible. Yeah, Laura, you saying you tested positive after 11 days, plan on day 13. You've been asymptomatic since day 7. I thought the rule was you now only have to wait 3 days after you're asymptomatic, and then you're good because you're going to be testing positive because you have the antibodies, but not because you're contagious. Wow, Ed, you had some monoclonal antibodies, and which is better than Paxlovid. Yeah, well, I don't know. Sarah Palin plowed a moose in her car. Great idea for the producer's guide. You got that right, Andrew. Write it up. Send it in. I'm accepting any kind of movie pitches that then I'll make for you on your behalf on Friday's show at some point in the future. Just email them to me, jake@jakethis.com. Little synopsis of your movie idea, and we'll put it on the show Fridays. Come to St. Louis, please. I'd like to do that, Alan. I'd like to come to all these places, and the sooner the better, in my mind. But you know, it just hasn't happened yet. Hadn't been able to make the deal. All right, it's at the sound of the tone. It's time for a Louise L. Hay wisdom card in honor of you, Trina, your 50th high school reunion. If I went to a reunion today, am I sick? Let's check my temperature. 97.5. Feeling great, doing great. All right. I release all old hurts and forgive everyone, including myself. That's great. If you're going to your 50th high school reunion, don't forget to release all old hurts and forgive everyone, including yourself, before you go. So that time when you said you weren't really that sick and you threw up in someone else's car, or that time when you were dating one person and you accidentally kissed another person. I'm really cleaning that up for TV. Forgive yourself for that. I can never get even. Revenge does not work because what I gave out comes back to me. Yeah, the buck has to stop somewhere. Yeah, revenge is a bad idea anyway. It's a waste of your time. Probably not going to make you feel better, although in the movies it always works. You may tech Lisa, thank you. You may test positive for weeks due to cellular sloughing. Not contagious, though. Yeah, Lisa, that's good. I'm going to have to remember that phrase. The reason you're testing positive is because you're doing some cellular sloughing, but you're not contagious. Because the important thing in a global pandemic, if we've learned anything, the important thing is to sound like you know what you're talking about. That's really true in life. I don't know if that's one of the Louise L. Hay wisdom cards, but just no matter what you're saying, try and sound like you know what you're talking about. That's your tip of the day. That's your life coaching tip of the day. Try and sound like you know what you're talking about. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. I usually say that. I'm going to say it in a minute because right now, I'm looking around. Right now, is Lady Jerry back doing any inside events? Well, we do live in a house, so we're doing that. But we're going to dinner with friends next week, and I think this Saturday, and we're going to be sitting outside because they want to sit outside. I'm not afraid to sit inside. Surprise! I'm rolling around inside with a bunch of savages. All right, Trina, you were a perfect nerd in high school. You did everyone's homework. Well, don't do anyone's homework at the reunion. Let them do your homework. Let them go get you a drink at the bar. After all, Jesus is buying. All right, it's time for Seize the Day. It's time for Seize the Day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate all of your support all of the time. I'm going to be here Friday for the happy half hour. But today's Seize the Day is by Mae West. One of our early sex bombs here in the United States. Mae West. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. That's a good one. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. So get out there. This is your one life. This is your one life. So quit doing shit you don't like doing. Start doing more shit that you like doing. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Be nice to a jerk. Why don't you just bring a jerk a nice glass of that free Jesus wine and help him relax? Be nice to a jerk. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. And revenge popsicles. Yeah, I like it. I like it, Ouija. Revenge popsicles. I don't know what flavor they are, but that's going to be a subject that we can cover on Friday. What flavor are the revenge popsicles? Because they got to be delicious if you want it to work. If you really want to get revenge on someone, you do something super nice. Makes them feel like a real a-hole for whatever they did to you. If you do it wrong, can you come back? I don't know, Robert. I'm not ready to take that risk. Have a nice night, everyone. Joan, have a nice night, everyone. And I'll see you all on Friday. Love to love you. And 3 p.m. Friday, it's going to happen.